Hey everybody, so my name is Amelia for Handicrafts. If you haven't been with me in the glory of our garage before, today I am bringing you handicrafts from Portland, Maine. So I'm actually living on a boat, which you will learn more about later. But since I'm living in the water, nature is hard to find, and today we are going to be doing a little bit of a flower search because we're going to be making some pressed flowers over the next 2 weeks. So here we are in one of the parks in Portland, Maine, because we're going to be looking for some wildflowers that we have around your yard, down the street. Maybe you can find a city park where you can take just a couple small flowers that we're going to be drying over the next couple weeks and making exciting things with them. So here we go. So in the park, there's a couple large bushes, and at this time of the summer, it may be different what you can find. But here's some really nice, there's lots of these flowers. Here's some really nice ones. So I'm just going to pick one. It's pretty big, but we might be able to do one of these smaller ones here, which is pretty nice in yellow. I'm terrible with flower identification, but here is one. So you just grab a little bit off. We don't need much of the stem. And there's one flower. When you're looking at your flowers, be careful, especially this time of the year. There's lots of little bees buzzing around, right? So they're trying to get their nectar and do their awesome business with making honey and feeding their hive. So just be careful of the little critters that you see around, and remember that when you're out in nature, they're the ones that are supposed to be here and you're visiting. So let them live their lives. Now, one thing we have to remember when we are picking these flowers for drying is that they may not stay the same when they're dried. So this is Queen Anne's lace, which is very, very pretty and very delicate. Sometimes it lasts and sometimes it doesn't when you dry it in a book very carefully. So sometimes it depends on how the flower does. And so we're going to pick a bunch of extras because we're not sure if all of our flowers are going to survive our drying times and our drying process, because some of those really delicate connections may let go. So another thing is we don't want just flowers, we also want pretty greenery, because if you have all the colors, you still need leaves. Like, what's a pretty flower without a nice leaf next to it, right? So you can pick little baby leaves, just a couple, just to remember to have some balance in our artwork. Okay. One thing to think about is that we are making our dried flowers are going to be a small project. So the tinier the detail that you can find, the better. So these little greenery pieces next to the flower are perfect. And these flowers are pretty delicate, but we're gonna see if they hold on for our drying process. And then we've got a couple good pieces to work with that pulled off of there. We don't want big giant flowers, big giant roses, or anything that's large like you would put in a bouquet, because then it'll be too big for our project and we'll have to use just separate little leaves rather than the whole pretty cool dried flower itself. All right, we made it back to the boat, and here's my little pile of flowers and leaves that I found in the park. So I'm going to go grab the rest of the materials and we can get started.